You may have heard that HIV is curable now. While that is yet to be seen absolutely, it is looking really hopeful, and there's a couple of treatments that could be complementary, and we can talk about where Crispr is going. Now, conditions like HIV are no longer 100% fatal as they were in the 70s. Generally, antivirals are used to just suppress it. Ideally, we want to get rid of it entirely. One of the problems with treating it is that it ends up hiding out in your immune cells, and you can't really target it when it's inactive. That's because it's a retrovirus, which means it's actually inside of your DNA. What these guys actually came up with was a treatment that would cause it to become active so it could actually be targeted by your immune system, so your immune system can do its job along with antivirals. However, one of the risks with this kind of treatment is that it ends up activating your T cells, and then you could end up with a cytokine storm, which is essentially when your immune system tries to get you. Not a good idea, and something you want to avoid. However, we have also developed CRISPR for it, which means these little molecules can go directly into your cells and just cut it out, which would absolutely be the dream. Are you wondering about other conditions like herpes, HSV? Well, unfortunately, there's not much we can do about it. These guys hide out in your cells dormant, and they hide out in your nerve cells, which are an immune-privileged area of the body. Essentially, your body is not going to go after your own neurons, and with good reason. That's called Guillain-Barré, often called Guillain-Barré disease by undergrads. As for herpes, all we can really do is just try to keep it less active, wait for it to sprout up, and then use antivirals, which can already be quite hard on your system. Also unfortunate, even if we figured out how to cut it out of your cells somehow, magically, and I don't have an answer for how that's possible, but science likes to come up with new answers, we would then have the risk of everyone who already has it. Meaning you could be an older adult getting chickenpox, and that can be fatal. So we're essentially in a lose-lose situation with chickenpox unless we develop an easy treatment that lasts a lifetime, and yeah, I have hopes for it. Now you may be asking about the safety of CRISPR. There are a few concerns about it, primarily around treatments for things like sickle cell, where they actually require the patient to go through chemotherapy so that they can have a bone marrow transplant. The treatment itself can be lethal, although there are a lot of different CRISPR trials going on right now, and it's largely demonstrated itself to be safe. I've even seen trials for conditions that aren't largely life-limiting, like hypercholesterolemia, so familial high cholesterol. Overall, since most of these things were tested in mice prior to humans, there might be downstream effects that haven't been considered. When it comes to CRISPR, there's always the concern that it's going to cut somewhere else in the genome that's actually really needed. Which is why it's important that we do these trials and we take them seriously. Anytime somebody suffers a side effect, that's something to be concerned about. Also, as long as I'm here, please don't use VAERS, the vaccine side effect website, to actually figure out what's going on. You can read the scientific papers on it. I literally put in that I was struck by lightning for my last vaccine, which is on the website now. To be fair, I was struck by lightning within 2 weeks of receiving it, but somehow I don't think it's a legitimate side effect. Although if you do want to go to that website and read some of the ridiculous stuff, that's also kind of fun. Attacked by a bear, I've also saw for the same vaccine.